2, 1.
Okay, so the first problem we're going to do is number 1, and that is 456 divided by 6. Now, can you see it okay on there?
Yeah.
Now, 6 goes into 4 0 times, okay, because 4 is too small. 4 is smaller than 6. So we got to include this part, the 5, okay? So, and that's a really sloppy 5. Let me see if I can make it a little bit. All right, it's a little bit better. How many times does 6 go into 45? I'm going to look here at my 6's. I see there's 48. That's too big. 42 is as close to 45 as I can get without going over. And that's 7 times. So 6 times 7 is 42. And remember, you can use your multiplication chart on the test. You just can't use a calculator. 45 minus 42 is 3. Bring down the 6. You get 36. Looking for 36. Oh, I see it right here. And it goes in there 6 times even. So my answer is, I have no remainder. My answer is 76. Okay? 76 is our answer. All right. If you have questions, I'll save it till the end, okay? I don't want to waste time in the video. Number 2, you get 3,449 divided by 9, right? And if I get a number wrong, just interrupt me. Miss Morales, wait, hang on. That's not right. Because I don't want to do the whole problem and realize I did it wrong. 9 goes into 3 0 times because 3 is too small. So we have to include the 4 and make it 34. 9 goes into 34 approximately, well, I'm looking at my 9s here.
3.
Yeah, I see 4 is too big, 36 is too big, so 3 times, which is 27. When you subtract, you get 4 left over, and you bring down the other 4. 9 goes into 44 4 times. I feel like I did something wrong here. I did, huh? Oh, yeah.
74.
Yeah, I did something wrong. Yeah, I did something.
74.
You know what? It's because I didn't. I tried to be sneaky about it. 14 minus 7 is 7, and yeah, now we got 74. You're right. See, I realized. Yeah.
And then 72 subtract.
Yeah, I tried to be quick with my subtraction. Don't do that, guys. Okay, do it the right way. 34. That 4 changes to a 14. 14 minus 7 is 7. That 3, since we borrow, changes to a 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. All right, so 7 is our remainder, but we bring down the 4, makes it 74. Now we see 8 times. Yeah, 72. And that gets us 2 left over. When we bring down the 9, goes in there 3 times. 3 times 9 is 27. You get 2 as your remainder. Yeah. Okay. Yes? Yeah. 2 is your remainder. Yeah. So that's our answer. 383, remainder 2. All right. My bad. But that's okay. We all make mistakes. And I saw right away, hang on, I made a mistake. We got to fix that. All right, number 3, 4,568 divided by 8. Now 4 is too small, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 above that. I got to include the 5 now, makes it 45. 8 goes into 45. Looking at my 8s. Yep, we see 5 times. Very good.
Bring down the 5 and subtract.
Well, we got to do 8 times 5, which is 40. So we subtract, like you said, we got 5 left over. Bring down the 6, makes it 56. And I know that's 8 times 7 is 56. All right. I'm not trying to go too fast. I will go over this again slowly for those of you who need me to be slower. This is just for the video, okay? All right, so 8 times 7 is 56. 56 minus 56 is 0. Bring down the 8, and that's as simple as it gets. 8 goes into 8 one whole time. No remainder. 571 is your answer. Any questions on number 3?
No.
Great.
Tricky.
Number 4. This is where it starts to get a little tricky because you start to deal with 2-digit numbers. You got 578 divided by 23.
What was the last answer?
571. And like I said, I'll go over it again, okay? So 23 goes into 5 0 times. We got to include the 7, making it 57. 23 goes into 57 2 times. 23 times 2 is 46. Okay? And the way you can do this with your multiplication chart is you can round down to 20 and say, okay, 23, oh, that's really sloppy, 23. 23 is closer to 20. So I'm gonna make it a 20. And then just look at your 2's, okay? I'll say, okay, well, instead of 57, I could round it up to 60. 2 times 3 is 6. So 20 times 3 is 60. I know it's probably going to be around 3 or 2. And I went with 2 because if 20 times 3 is 60, 23 is going to be much bigger than that. And it's going to be bigger than 57. So that's why I did 2. Alright. So that's why I did 23 times 2. Okay? Because I looked at my 2's. I said, okay, 2 times 3 is 6. Well, 20 times 3 is 60. That's a little too big. So I'm going to do 23 times 2. And I know that in my head. Okay? And I basically did it like this. 20 times 2 is 40. 3 times 2 is 6. 23 times 2 is 46. Okay? Yeah, either way. All right, let's get back to this. 57 minus 46 is 11, right? Bring down the 8. And once again, look at your 2's, okay? Instead of 12, make it 120, right? Instead of 2, make it 20. So 20 times 6 would be 120. So I'm guessing 23 times 5.
Yeah.
And that makes it 15, 10, 11. Look at that. We're very close. Yeah. So we're going to do times 5. And that gets us 3 remainder. And that's our final answer, 25 remainder 3. Okay? Use your multiplication chart. Even with these 2 digits, you're going to need to estimate, say, okay, well, 23 is closer to 20. And then look at, okay, instead of the 2's, I'll make it a 20 and just add little zeros at the end. You don't have to literally write them. You can just imagine them, okay? But use your multiplication chart. And our answer, once again, for those of you who weren't listening, 25 remainder 3. All right, number 5. 7,804 divided by 69. All right, I know 69 doesn't go into 7 at all, so I'll put a 0. But it does go into 78 one time. I know it's one time because 69 times 2 is going to be way too big. 6 times 2 is 12, so 60 times 2 is 120. So there's no way. 69 times 2 is going to be much bigger than that. So it's only one time, which is fine. Then we subtract. 18 minus 9 is 9. 6 minus 6 is 0. So we have 9 left over. Bring down the 0, making it 90. Still only goes in there one time. Yeah, I'm doing it right. Your confused face maybe think I was doing it wrong. All right, then we subtract again. 10 minus 9 is 1. 8 minus 6 is 2. All right, bring down the 4. 214. Now, I'm looking at my 6's. Actually, 69 is pretty close to 70. I'm going to round it up to 70. I'm going to look at my 7's. I'm going to say, okay, what's close to 214? And I'm going to say 21 here. 7 times 3 is 21. 70 times 3 would be 210. So I'm going to try 69 times 3. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 6 is 18. Plus 2 is 20. And look at that. I'm right where I need to be. 207. It's as close to 214 as I can get. So it's going to go in there 3 times. And you get 7 left over. So it's 113, remainder 7. I'll say it again in case you didn't hear me. 113, remainder 7. Okay? Number 6. Save your questions till the end if you have any. Number 6, 514 divided by 20. I know 20 goes into 5 0 times because 5 is too small. It goes into 51 2 times because 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 is too big, okay? And if you don't know your 20s, look at your 2's and your handy-dandy multiplication chart and just imagine zeros at the end, okay? And those would be your answers. So 20 times 2 is 40. I have 11 left over. Bring down the 4. 20 goes into 114 5 times. Okay, I know this off the top of my head, but you can say 2 times 5 is 10. 20 times 5 is 100. Okay, 20 times 6 is 120. It's too big. So 5 times, you have 14 left over. Yep, so it's 25, remainder 14. Okay? Number 7 is 689 divided by 16. Now, I'm going to round 16 up to 20 again, because it's closer to 20 than it is to 10. So I'm looking at my, oops, no, not my 6s. I'm looking at my 2s. Okay, so 16 goes into 6 approximately 0 times. 68, I'm going to say it goes in there 3 times. So 2 times 3 is 6. 16 times, which means 20 times 3 is 60. 16 times 3 is going to be 48. It might go in there one more time. Let me check. 16 times 4.
I think it's 2.
Oh yeah, it goes in there 4 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So it goes in there 4 times. Yeah.
I think I multiplied it.
Okay. 68 minus 64 is 4. Bring down the 9. And 16 goes into 49 3 times because I just solved it right there. And you got 1 as your remainder. 43, remainder 1.
I could have got that, but I just multiplied it.
Yeah, no biggie. All right, that was 7, right? And we did 6 already?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do 8, 9, and 10. How much time is on that video?
12 minutes right now.
Okay, yeah, we'll just do it right now. All right, number 8, 9, and 10 are a little tricky, but you really gotta think critically on them. And most of you guys did a really good job of saying, wait a second, hang on, and that's good. We'll talk about that in a second. Number 8, Andy bought tacos for his coworkers. He had 115 tacos. He wants to distribute it evenly amongst his 23 coworkers. So they're gonna ask you, how many tacos is each person getting? Stop it. So 23 doesn't go into 1 or even 11. So we gotta look at it and say, okay, how many times is it going to 115? Well, this is where rounding is going to help you. 23 is closer to 20, so I'm going to look at my 2's. I know 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 6 is 12, so 20 times 5 is 100, 20 times 6 is 120. I'm going to say 23 goes in there 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. And bam, 5. And you have none left over. So each employee is going to get 5 tacos. That's a lot of tacos.
My dad would gobble them up.
Yeah. Oh, those little street tacos. I mean, yeah. All right, so each employee is getting 5 tacos. All right? It's a pretty good amount. Let's look at 9. Number 9 gets a little tricky near the end. It says Michael wants to take his employees out to a ski resort. Lucky. And is looking at cabins to rent. Each cabin holds 15 of his employees. There are 154 employees. So you got to divide 154 by 15. And then it says, how many rooms is Michael going to need to get? So we got to figure that out. 15 goes into 1 0 times, but it goes into 15 1 whole time. You got 0 left over. Bring down the 4. 15 goes into 4 0 times. Okay? So that means you get remainder 4.
Yeah, I got it right.
Now, that's the division answer. But how many rooms does Michael need to get? He needs to get at least 10 rooms. And where are these 4 people going to sleep? On the street? No! No! He needs to get a room for those.
14 rooms.
So instead of 10 cabins, he needs to get another cabin for those 4 people. So in total, Michael needs to get 11 cabins. It's a little tricky. If you put 10 cabins, where are those 4 going to sleep? They got to sleep somewhere. You got to get another cabin for that remainder. Okay? So it's a tricky one. You got to look at it like, wait a second. Those 4 people need somewhere to sleep. I got to add another cabin to it. 11 cabins. Okay? your test question will be almost exactly like that. I'm going to try and trick you. Don't fall for it. You're a smart kid. You can figure that out. Hang on. There's a remainder, so I got to add another cabin to that remainder. Was Casper at the door? All right, cool. All right, tell him to bug off. All right, number 10. This is another tricky. 123 employees of Dunder Mifflin are visiting the Gettysburg National Park. Each bus holds 23 employees. All the buses are full except one. How many employees will be in the bus that's not full? So it's telling you, you're going to have a remainder. What is it? That's basically what they're asking you, okay? They're saying all the buses are full except one. This is where the leftovers, the remainders are going to be. How many are in that bus? So we got to solve it. 23 goes into 1 0 times, 12 0 times. I know 20 is close to, or 23 is close to 20. And 20 times 5 is 100. So I'm going to guess 23 goes into 123 5 times. We'll see what happens. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. 115. Yep, that's close. So when I do that, 5 buses, I get 115 left over. And when I subtract, 13 minus 5 is 8. Thank you. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. My remainder is 8. So how many are going to be in the bus that is not full?
6.
8.
Oh.
What?
8.
8! 8. It's all right. 8 employees will be in the bus. That's the answer. 8. Because they're saying all the buses, we're going to have 5 full buses. That 6th bus is not going to be full. It's going to have the remainder employees, which is 8. It's going to be a pretty empty bus. I don't want to be on that bus. All right. Any questions? Go ahead and